Jason Swain, touchdown.
It's time for the Swain Event with your host, Jason Swain.
My man.
Real sports talk for the real sports fan.
All you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him.
It's time for the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Give me 2 house and a Ric Flair.
America. Got my man Ben McKee from GoVols 247. I am Jason Swain, live from the Low T Center studio. What a day. What a day. You can't beat this time of the year. You cannot. College basketball has officially started. It is November. It's in the thick of things. Teams that want to win a championship, teams that want to have a chance to win a championship, the pressure is on to perform at the highest of levels in the month of November. College basketball, NBA basketball, college football, NFL football, college baseball, and MLB. Sorry, Ben, it's over. I ain't mad at that. What's up, Ben? What's up, man? How you doing, sir? You looking good, man. I missed you last night.
I am doing well.
Uh-oh.
Apologies for the cough there. I am under the weather a smidge this morning, but other than that, I'm doing well. I missed you last night. I don't know where I was supposed to be last night. Were you at the basketball game?
I was at the basketball game, man.
And you didn't come say hello?
Uh,
You're a fraud.
Ben, I didn't want to come say hello.
That's fine. I didn't want to say hello to you anyways.
You know how you're thinking of a reply, you're thinking of a reason to give someone an excuse, and you're like, you know what? I'm just gonna tell you the truth. That's what I just did.
That's fine.
Ben,
I know you. I know you've moved on to bigger and better things and forgot about all the peasants that you've worked with in the past. Now,
like Ben, I just did want to say hello. The reason why is not because I didn't want to. The reason why is because you were on the opposite end of the court. I was sitting in section 200, and it was me and the oldest, and school night. Had things to do. So I knew that would take a whole nother 30 to 45 minutes because I know how I get to chopping it up over there. And we left about a minute and so in the game, and I knew I wouldn't get back until late. So that's why. I'll see you Saturday, right? No?
No. I am not making the football trip this weekend. My 3 other coworkers will be in attendance while I go to Madison, Wisconsin on Friday night to cover Tennessee basketball against Wisconsin.
I don't know who wins on that one. I don't know who wins.
Yeah. Back in, I guess I booked the trip 2.5 months ago to go to Wisconsin. And at the time I thought, ooh, nice. I'm getting out of going to Como, and I can cover the game from the house, which makes my life a whole lot easier. I will never complain about getting to go cover sporting events at all, but it is easier to get my work done from the house than it is at the game. So at the time I was like, oh yeah, I don't have to go to Como. I can get my work done easy from the house. Like this is gonna be great. But now it's turned into a really good football game, and I'm jealous that I'm not going, honestly. And I do want to check off all the SEC football stadium boxes, and I have not been to Faroe Field there with all the rocks. So in hindsight, I am actually a little upset that I'm not going. But 24/7, everybody chips in with football, obviously, but they did hire me to cover the basketball team. That is my baby that I am responsible for. So gonna go to Madison, Wisconsin on Friday night and cover Tennessee basketball versus Wisconsin. So I'll be back in Knoxville for the football game on Saturday, unfortunately.
Well, that's fortunately, for sure, because that's going to be a good game. And this is a great one. I think that we're going to see on Saturday between two top 20 teams, two top 15 teams in Tennessee and Missouri. And Tennessee has a chance to put themselves in the top 10 after a win at Missouri at Faroe Field. I won't say too much about Faroe Field. I'm not going to give those guys any motivation to be louder than they have been. We understand their stadium when it compares to some of the others in the SEC. It doesn't in size, but if you get a lot of passionate fans in one spot, you can create a hostile environment. One that Tennessee is prepared for, one that Tennessee has played in already, but still it can be a hostile environment. I think this team is battle-tested. I think this team learned a valuable lesson at Florida, at Alabama, and we saw that lesson be learned and this football team improve and grow and take a step when Tennessee played at Kentucky and was able to orchestrate a couple of end-of-the-half drives to finish the deal there in Lexington. So this is weird, man. This is a weird time to do the show, Ben, because it's Tuesday. We got Missouri up next. We play UConn, and that was a nice scrimmage game. And I don't understand why UConn would come in, talking. But I guess I get it if you are on the field and you got a group of dudes come in and just tell you to move. Like, your pride gonna get in the way, your ego's gonna get in the way. You're not really thinking about the game, but it's the fact that someone told you to move. And maybe you feel like you were entitled to that space because Tennessee wasn't on the field yet because of the ball walk. But I don't understand why would you want to poke the bear. And Tennessee could have hung 7 if they really wanted to. But it was good to see everybody play. Guys, if you want to see Nico longer, I get it. But don't get mad because they took Nico out. You don't have to lie to yourself and tell yourself that Nico needs to play against UConn to be ready to play next year against Florida and Alabama and Georgia, because he doesn't. It was good to see what he can do. I'm no more excited or less excited. Nothing has changed watching Nico against UConn. I knew he was a stud in high school. He's a stud now, and he's going to be a stud when he plays. So it was good to see other guys get out there and play. It was really good to see Ricky Gibson at corner after leaving the game against Kentucky. With Kamal Hatt being out, I think Ricky Gibson is going to have an opportunity to make some plays. He is a guy that can run. He's a guy that is aggressive. We saw him tackle in space. We saw him get his nose in there and put his face in the fan. So, Ben, we played Missouri this weekend, but anyone stand out to you from last week's game? Any performance was noteworthy for you? Anything you feel like you need to highlight?
I pretty much agree with everything that you brought up. Those were my main takeaways. I was already excited to watch Nico play for obvious reasons, but I will say that watching him kind of run around and show off the athleticism, it made me even a little more excited, if that's possible. He just looks like he's going to be really, really fun to watch and cover. I thought it was really cool how the entire offense came over and kind of mobbed him for throwing his first career touchdown. And I don't think it was just simply because he threw his first career touchdown. There's firsts that happen all the time, and I don't often see players mobbed like Nico was. And I asked McCallan Castles about that yesterday when he spoke to the media, and he said that everybody, I'm paraphrasing, but everybody loves Nico, and he's had opportunities this year where he could have complained about not playing as much as he should have, particularly in games like Austin P and UTSA when the starters did not handle their business. And because they did not handle their business, Nico was not able to get in and either play or play as much as he should have played. And McCallan said that Nico has not complained once, and he still shows up with a great mindset, great work ethic. He's been a great teammate through it all, never complained once. And being mobbed by his teammates, by the offense, was kind of representative of that. So I thought that was really cool, and not trying to rush this football season to an end because there's still so much to play for. If Tennessee can beat Missouri and Ole Miss finds a way to beat Georgia this weekend, which I think is possible. I'm not going to predict that, but I think it's certainly possible Ole Miss can beat Georgia. Then all of a sudden, next Saturday in Neyland Stadium, you're playing for the chance to go to the SEC title game. And so I'm not trying to rush through this season, but hard not to watch Nico kind of be a jitterbug out there and make some exciting plays and not be excited to watch him in a full capacity. So I thought that was really cool. Ethan Davis really stood out. I thought Ethan Davis looked good at the tight end position. He's somebody that Tennessee's going to have to rely upon next season. And honestly, with still a lot to be played for this year, he's one snap away from receiving reps as well. If McCallan Castles or Jacob Warren goes down, Ethan Davis would be next in line to help contribute. And I thought he looked really, really good in the passing game, and I think he's going to be a player for Tennessee. So Ethan Davis is the only one that I would add to what you mentioned there.
You mentioned McCallan Castles, and he made me mad during the game. Not because he did anything wrong and messed up, but I'm aggressive, okay? I'm aggressive when it comes to football. Like, what y'all think are unsportsmanlike conduct penalties and targeting and hard hits, I don't. I'm aggressive. I can't help it. Football is the outlet, okay? Ace agrees. Now, here's the reason why I was mad at McCallan Castles during the game. Just for a split second. He caught that ball, and he let 4 or 5 dudes pick him up off the ground, and he that big. I need you to go punish defense. Punish those little dudes. Lower that shoulder and deliver the boom. Don't let that boom be delivered to you. And then they rip the ball out after the whistle, and the last thing we need to do is leave it up to the referees to make a decision. Ethan Davis caught the ball and noticed that the secondary player was trying to get low and take out his knees, so he got down low with him. He got down low with him and met him. I just need McCallan Castles to start punishing dudes that try to tackle him and finishing those runs and not letting guys pick him up off the ground. That's the only thing I was upset about. But other than that, man, we did what we were supposed to do. We handled business. Unlike other games, and I'm very, very.
Tennessee beat UConn the way it should beat UConn in football, and I always say that good football teams, they beat down opponents and treat opponents the way that they should be treated. And I thought Tennessee. Back when Tennessee was playing UTSA and Austin P, and I guess more the Austin P game because they treated UTSA the way that they should have been treated. But that Austin P game, in hindsight, I don't think it was a very good football team at the time, Tennessee. Mm-hmm. And for them to improve over the last 2 months, I just think it speaks to the program that Josh Heupel has built. And his football teams, small sample size here at Tennessee, but they truly do get better over the course of the season. And I don't know that the September version of the Vols are treating UConn the way that it did the beginning of November. So I think Saturday also spoke to the growth of this football team in this particular season. And Tennessee has absolutely developed into a good football team, and we'll see how good they are these next 2 weeks.
865-255-03. We'll take a quick timeout. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. You're listening to Ben McGee, Go Vols 247. I'm Jason Swain, live from the Low T Central Studio. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
You're listening to the Swain Event.
And you know this, man.
Here in Knoxville, we love it when a squirrel's in the checkerboards. But when there's a squirrel in our attic, that's all sides. When that happens, call Alpha Wildlife. They're Knoxville's veteran-owned and operated wildlife removal company. When unwanted critters put their feet up on your coffee table, call 865-224-6555. Let the Tennessee fans at Alpha Wildlife evict those unwanted tenants and set your home up with a winning defense to keep that wildlife where it belongs. That's Alpha Wildlife at 865-224-6555. They have locations in Nashville, Memphis, Chattanooga, and in parts of South Carolina. Check them out online at alphawildlife.com.
What's up, fellas? It's Swain. When it comes to health, there are numbers every man needs to know, including your testosterone number. I recommend going to Low T Center. They make it quick and easy to get your levels checked, and it's only $25. You walk in, take a simple blood test, and with their on-site lab, you'll know your results in 25 minutes. Low testosterone levels can make you feel tired and grumpy, can cause lack of motivation and drive. It can raise your cholesterol, cause weight gain, and loss of muscle mass. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare. Dead End Barbecue has you covered when you need the food to be on point for your next event. Go to deadendbbq.com to learn more or call 865-414-9417. Dead End Barbecue, the catering search is over.
Hey there, Swain Event crew. Just like fall sports, the Knoxville area real estate market is strong and growing stronger. We're an everything region. When you get the big orange itch to buy, sell, or invest, call me, Jennifer Morris with Keller Williams Realty at 865-257-7897 or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. Go Vols!
Looking for a different way to enjoy the show?
Yes.
Then check out Swain Event TV on YouTube.
Got rock and roll for you this morning. Let's go. A little heavy metal. Rock and roll. A little heavy metal for you this morning. If you got energy, bring it. Bring that energy. Then you need some coffee? A little bit?
I always need coffee.
I know what you need. You need a Navage or something, man. You sound grumpy over there, man. You sound stuffy.
I'm not grumpy.
No, I'm saying you sound grumpy. You just sound
grumpy.
sick.
I need some tussin. That's what I need.
You need to get that nasal cleaner, man. We got one of those, man, and that's been a game changer as the weather's changing and people get that sinus pressure. That has been a game changer. All right, enough medical advice from Dr. Swain this morning.
For the person who lives with a nurse.
Yeah, you shouldn't ever be sick. Missouri, guys, I think it's okay. We said this on this program so many times, man. You want to look ahead, look ahead. You ain't playing the games. We're not playing the games. So we can look ahead to the Georgia week. That's cool. But I need people to understand that Missouri is a good football team. And Missouri is more than capable of beating us. When I look at last year's game, and you remember last year's game. I hope you do, because I do. And I remember seeing Brady Cook, their quarterback, rush for 100 yards against us. I remember him giving us trouble in the first half. I remember the game being 28-24 when Missouri came out in the second half and scored. And then after that, Tennessee just handled business. And That was the last touchdown Missouri scored, and Tennessee put up 60-plus points while Missouri only had 24. But if you were paying close attention to last year's game, you're not surprised by how well Missouri is playing this year. Because remember in the first half, they got to Hendon Hooker. They provided some pass rush. We have some pre-snap penalties. Brady Cook running the football. He's very, very mobile. He was a better runner than the passer last year. Obviously, he has improved. We saw the skills of Luther Burton. He was a true freshman. Now he's more comfortable. The front seven pretty good. So, yeah, it's going to be a challenge, especially for our secondary, which is why I think it's so important that our pass rush is Texas A&M level. I think it has to be Texas A&M level. I think our offense is better, so it doesn't put as much pressure on our front seven. But if you are sitting in this defensive line meeting room, you have to be thinking about that type of performance because there's no Kamal Hatton. There's film of Devin Leary doing what he did with the clean pocket. And so if you're Missouri, you got to feel confident that you can do the same thing because you have better receivers. So I think our pass rush has to be really good. Our offense is as good as it's been all season long. But, man, this is going to be a fantastic matchup, man. It's going to be a good one. Jalen Wright has a chance to lead the SEC in rushing after this game. If his defense do what they did versus Ray Davis in Kentucky, completely shutting him down, we got a chance. We have what travels and what can win in the SEC. If you can run the football, if you can rush the passer, you got a chance in any game that you play in the SEC. But please don't sleep on Missouri. I'm not saying that because it's going to affect the outcome of the game because we're not playing. I just don't want you to have these expectations like Missouri is garbage and then the game is tough or Tennessee comes up short and now you mad you want to fire everybody. It'd be your damn fault that you got your hopes up thinking that Missouri was trash. Oh, man, this is Missouri. We should be beat them by 20. No, we might, but I doubt it. This team is good. You cannot look at this Missouri team like you did the last two seasons.
No, always. My opinion is that you always evaluate the players in the jersey and helmets and not the logo on the helmet. And these players that are in Missouri's uniforms, they're not the players that were in between those first couple of SEC teams that Missouri had that got them to Atlanta. They had a couple down years there with Barry Odom. That's not this Missouri football team. This Missouri football team has legitimate talent, especially on the offensive side. I mean, Swain, I know Tennessee's receivers are starting to play better, but how quickly would you swap Missouri starting three receivers with Tennessee's starting three receivers? I mean, Luther Burden would play anywhere in the country.
It's not nice.
What's that?
It's not nice, Ben.
It may not be nice, but it's the truth. I mean, I'm not trying to put down Tennessee's receivers because I like where they are at. I like the season that Squirrel White is having. Hopefully, Ramel Keaton can build off of the bomb that he was able to catch against UConn in terms of confidence. Dante Thornton Jr. seems to be growing in confidence playing on the outside. Chaz Nimrod has stepped up. Caleb Webb is also starting to step up a little bit. So I'm not trying to downplay Tennessee's receivers. It's more of me just speaking to how good Missouri's receivers are. Theo Weiss, Luther Burden gets all the talk, but Theo Weiss, the Oklahoma transfer, is very talented. Mookie Cooper, also very talented, and he's somebody that's dynamic with the football in his hands. Brady Cook is really, really solid. I wouldn't put him up there with Milroe or Jane Daniels or anybody like that as one of the best in the league, but it just in terms of pure talent, but in terms of pure production, I mean, he's been very productive all season. I believe just about as productive as anybody in the SEC, and he's certainly capable of beating you. You touched on that. We kind of saw a little bit of that last year in Neyland Stadium with his ability to make plays with his legs. And then I don't think Cody Schrader, their running back, is talked about enough. I mean, he is very, very good. One of the better running backs in the SEC and in the country this season. So Tennessee's defense is going to have its hands full. And Swain, I thought you made a great point of saying that the A&M, and I know you were specifically talking about the pass rush, but I think the collective defensive effort from the A&M game is going to have to reappear because it does feel like since halftime in Tuscaloosa, there's been a little bit of slippage on the defensive end, and it seems to correlate with maybe the secondary not playing as well as it had played at times. Kentucky obviously was able to throw the ball. UConn had, I believe, 180 passing yards in the first half, and that was a UConn passing attack that was averaging 180 yards per game, and they had that in the first half for 200 yards of offense. There's been a little bit of slippage there from the defense the last couple of halves of football. So Tennessee's offense is going to have to be able to put some points and I think flirt with that 30-point mark. But the defense is really going to have to step up and travel and slow down a very talented Missouri offense.
I thought Will Overstreet made a really good point during the pregame on Saturday, talking about the pass rush. And the Kentucky game was something that we wasn't used to seeing a quarterback have as much time as Leary had. And some of it, they missed some calls, whatever, but you got to give Kentucky O-line some credit. And Overstreet was saying that opponents, they scout. They look at your pass moves. And if you have a tendency to go to a go-to move to one direction or inside or outside, then you're going to do what you're comfortable doing. And when you do that, people are going to scout for that. They'll be ready for that. And so this is a great time to whip out some secondary moves, a third move that you have, because your tendencies are on film. Your habits are on film. And so we have the quickness. We have the athleticism. This is the perfect time to throw in, some wrinkles. And remember the first 2 years of Josh Heupel's tenure, man, there was a lot of criticism of Tim Banks. I never understood it because I watched what he did with less. And now that he has more, you're seeing a better defense. Wow, what a concept. So I think he's going to throw some wrinkles at Brady Cook, give him some looks that Missouri staff have not seen on film from Tennessee. But I do think the front seven has to make the secondary's job as easy as possible. And I thought our front seven did a good job in the first couple of games of the season, all the way up to the Kentucky game of masking some speed issues on the back end. Because we're not the fastest on the back end, which is why I think you see us play zone more than maybe we would want to. You have to play towards your personnel. So, Gabe Giuliani, I think he's a really good zone corner. I think he's really smart, very experienced, did a really good job on creating a fumble. But you got to mix it up. You're going to have to play some man some. And when you do, you can't allow Weiss and Burton and all those guys to hurt you bad. And they won't if you get to the pass rush. If you have a pass rush and you get to the passer. 865-255-03. The Beatty Chevrolet text box. We will hit that up. Your questions, your comments, we'll take them right here on the program. Ben McKee, playing tough. Frozen and all. Fighting through. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Be right back. Hey, Knoxville, we all know the importance of mental health. Most people don't have regular mental health care. They often wait. Let's change that. Isn't it time we all consider our mental health as important as our physical health? If you are ready, Mind Body Wellness in Knoxville